Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome to another video. Today we're going to be diving into seasonal affective disorder. Now, we already did a live stream discussing some of the features of seasonal affective disorder, some of the ways that I've recommended that my clients manage the difficult symptoms that come along with it, such as lack of motivation, feeling very lethargic, fatigue, depressed mood, lack of enjoyment of life. A lot of those things can be really concerning, and especially as they tend to come during the winter months, a lot of times when there's a lot of pressure to be happy or enjoying time with family, and sometimes we're just not feeling it. I wanted to share with you all some resources that are available now for people who are struggling with SAD, seasonal affective disorder, and ways that a particular university in Glasgow was able to do some research and create a community-based intervention for people who struggle with SAD. Let's dive into it. Okay. So this resource was from a news article that I found from the University of Glasgow. And what they did was last winter, they did a survey and got a couple of respondents who said they struggled with SAD. They created a group that would meet regularly that was led by researchers, was led by an artist, as well as a CBT expert. And all of these people led this group of people who struggle with SAD in meeting outdoors once a week. They engaged in creative activities, taking pictures, spending time together, discussing things about SAD, discussing their experiences with SAD, but also just engaging in creative play, creative building, cooperative work together. So this is the result of that pilot done last winter.
I'd like to invite you to our Wintering Well Living with SAD event on the 28th of October. We worked with 20 volunteers over last winter through a series of workshops where we produced resources that will help others winter well in future years. The event is all about releasing those resources for you, the public. One of those resources is a book led by our artist who worked with us last winter, Alec Finley. And we've also got some CBT-led resources with our partners Living Life to the Full, and a series of speakers who are going to talk about the experience of SAD and how to use these resources to improve our winter life.
All right, so pretty comprehensive there. They have a book that I'm going to check out here. They have some CBT resources, which I'll look into as well as we're doing this video. And yeah, the idea is pretty simple, right? Wintering well. Winter is a tough season for a lot of people, and how we do that well in a way that brings people together to support one another instead of isolating us in our little pockets of feeling alone and depressed during the winter. So let's check out the book that they said was available online now. Okay, so it looks like there's a whole page of just living with SAD. This is again still on the University of Glasgow website. Wintering well resources. Access resources for wintering well. Okay, start there. Light is a Right, a guide to wintering well. So this is the book that they were talking about that the artist helped to design and come up with. A creative guidebook for learning to live well in winter with written and photographic reflections from individuals who experience SAD. All right, let's take a quick preview of this. So this looks like it's free online, and I don't know whether you can order a print copy. I guess we'll take a look at that too. Let's see. All right, so we got some photographs so far. Light is a Right, a guide to wintering well. Introduction, proposals, some practices, manifesto. Okay, let's scroll through real quick. Okay, maybe not the therapeutic approach I would use. I tend to be a little more embracing of discomfort and difficult times, but this kind of works too. Changes in the weather and the turning of the seasons affect us all, our moods, our habits, our sense of self, and how we relate to the wider world. So a lot of these things that this community group that they piloted last year did together were about developing community, developing connections with other people, spending time outside where we could get light, on a regular basis. Harnessing creativity, being mindful while being outside, being creative in our play and our engagement with other people and in the shared activities that we did. So those are all things that tend to decrease during the winter months just because we tend to be inside, cold, there's less light. And so this is a way of facilitating that in a way that's really encouraging once you develop those friendships with other people and those connections to be able to do that consistently. How to get over the threshold. This is an interesting juxtaposition, this book, between some of the hand-drawn things and the photographs. Make your own portable sky frame. Stiff cardboard is good. And whatever the weather, step out of doors. Standing on one spot, tilt up your chin, hold the frame above your head, find a patch of sky that calls you. Now wait for whatever thoughts happen, watch the movements and the changes, see the winter sky's colors and tones, write a few words to describe the light. Revisit your sky patch. Remember things beyond gray, feelings more than gloom. Okay, I can get behind this. In contrast to the initial FU winter thing, this is kind of that mindful embrace of how can I still find beauty? How can I still find the different shades and the different tones within that? And this sky frame seems like a really great activity to be mindful, to spend time outside, spend time intentionally engaging with your environment. Wow, look at that picture. I'm not going to go through all of this, but you can check this out for yourself. I'll put a link in the description. This seems like a great resource either to print out or just to have on a device or something like that. A lot of these pictures really seem to emphasize that light and that contrast and the different nuances within winter, while we just tend to think of it as gray. I like the little bit from the activities that I've seen so far and the different ways that that might foster mindfulness and engagement with the environment. I think one of the things that set their pilot apart, probably from what other people try to do, is intentionally bringing a group together. And that can really bring the encouragement to be able to do these things consistently rather than just like feeling like it's on an as needed basis. So let's go over to Living Life to the Full. This is an online course developed by CBT experts. Okay, let's see what they've got here. Living Life to the Full, or SAD course. Okay. Understanding SAD, winter thinking. Okay, so CBT and a lot of therapies actually are really big on labeling. There's something about giving a name to something that gives a sense of power and control over it. It doesn't seem as overwhelming, but that once you can name it, you can also manipulate it. You can do things with it. Winter room of my making. Okay, so I haven't actually looked at these activities, but just from the title of Winter Room of My Making, there's a lot about control here, where a lot of times if our belief is that we're out of control of the situation, things feel overwhelming and just moving too fast for us or too big for us to do something about, then we start feeling more helpless and depressed. And if we can create a room of our own making, of our own design, then we are taking back some of the control. And I can see how that can be a very CBT thing to do when it comes to something like seasonal affective disorder. Daily winter routine. Yes, CBT is really big about the behavioral component, setting up positive routines, productive routines and patterns. They don't have to lend themselves to being productive necessarily, but when I say productive, it just means helpful for us, moving us towards the goals that we want. And again, that doesn't have to be completing tasks or doing things. Maybe it is just feeling better during those months, engaging with others, connecting with others more. Looking at things differently, totally CBT thing. Relationships in winter, absolutely. Plus a lived experience course. Interesting. So you just go to the site, register using the code, which they give you right there. That seems pretty simple. Let's see what other resources they might have. Wintering Together toolkits. Okay, this is what I was looking for. Okay, so they piloted this, but now we can really see, okay, do they have resources for pulling a group together in your own community? Because probably a lot of you don't live in Glasgow where they piloted this. So let's see what the toolkit includes. Okay, 50 pages. I am not going to go through all of them. Planning on winter gatherings, sample wintering well program, creative prompts. This looks awesome. Like really, this is like all done for you. So if you want to do this individually, you have the book, you have the CBT course. If you want to take the lead on doing something like this in your community, there's this Wintering Well toolkit for you to be able to implement some of what they did in Glasgow in the pilot last year for your community, for you to have support and for others to have support in this time. Overall, I'm just so impressed by the resources that this university put out, just that they're all free to access. They're not filled with jargon. They translate some of the therapeutic concepts into just normal people talk so that it's very accessible for everybody. And I love that they are pushing the community piece, doing this with other people. While there is mindful engagement, while there is curiosity, there is creativity, the added power that they bring to this is doing this with other people, having that accountability and support from others to be able to share experiences together. And that can really be what's missing when we are talking about treating SAD or being able to winter well, as they talk about. Everyone, thank you so much for checking out this video. This kind of thing is one of the reasons I really appreciate having this channel, being able to be on the lookout for resources like this and to be able to share that with you all. And especially since it's free also, I love that the university is doing that and being able to share that with people. Like I said, all of the links will be down below that I looked at today. So please take a look at those, access those if you need them, share them with someone you feel like might benefit from those. And also let me know in the comments, what do you currently do to winter well? How do you think something like a community group like this would go over in your community? And definitely let me know if you decide to start that. I would love to be in the loop on how that's going and what you all are doing with it. That sounds really exciting. As usual, please like and subscribe so I can continue to bring these resources to the forefront for you to be able to address current topics in mental health, just like in this video. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'll see you next time.